like there as well. And we're going to digress from our normal weekly topic and talk about effective communications, because Carol is, besides being my life partner, is a remarkable teacher about helping people speak their truth, and especially about asking for what you want so that you get it. That's a great phrase. And I'll be just doing a little interview with her and asking her what it's about, and how you can learn more about how to ask for what you want so that you get it in the future. So Carol, where did you get interested in this whole thing about effective communications and asking people for what you want?
I got very interested in it when I saw that it would serve me in having a more prosperous, abundant life by learning these particular skills. I wanted to be effective in my life and obtain the happiness and things that I desire.
So, and you can do that by asking people for what you want. Isn't that kind of selfish?
Not at all. Because we are in this world that was created by the interconnections of people. And so there's always exchange going on. And we are not in this alone. We have to break down the barriers that are between each of us in our communications. And one of the ways is not to feel that you do it all yourself. That's a very lonely life, to be all by yourself. You have to break down those walls and see what it is you might require and who you might be able to be with to create that happening. Granted, you might not only do the part about this communication, you may have to pay them too, but that's the beginning of it. It starts the ball rolling when you speak up for what you require.
So how do you do that? First of all, what is it? A better question to start off. How do people do it that doesn't work? What is it about how people ask for what they want that doesn't work?
Well, a lot of people, I think they're asking for what they want, and they're not really asking for it. They're hinting, they're complaining about it, they're hoping someone will do what they're asking. They're not using the right tools. Because if you ask somebody, could you, especially man, could you take out the trash? Everyone has the ability that they could, but that's not asking for an agreement. An agreement with a person to engage them to do something requires their will, and you have to speak from that space. You have to say, will you take out the trash? And then what happens is an agreement is formed. Now, the key is most of us don't want to do the agreement because this is a prosperity piece. To the degree that I can be asking you to do things for me exposes that I too have it in me to be asked for things to help you. And so we reveal ourselves in the asking that we do. If I ask for something that's really outrageous and you go, gosh, she's just, what kind of lady is she? It's because it tells you something. It means I'm willing to give that, but most people don't realize that. So they immediately cut themselves off and play small. Like if I asked you and I said, hey, my birthday's coming up in February. Will you provide me a big bash with like 20 people here at the house? And you go, oh my gosh, that's just so outrageous. How could she even ask that of me? COVID and all this going on, and you'd make all these excuses. But I would never be able to ask that of you unless I was willing to give that to you or someone else. So there's this whole piece about revealing yourself as well. And people don't want to go that far. They want to stay small in the background, and then they're not getting what they want.
Right. So what would be an example of something someone asks, they don't ask for something that they want, and it makes their life smaller? Like, I don't know, relationships or how they're living or the career they have. What I guess could be all of it.
Yeah, you'd have to be known. Sometimes the asking might be unpopular, but then you're not speaking your truth. unless you bring it up. Remember way back when you told me, well, I love having kids, but the thing I don't like with kids is taking them to daycare. And I heard that. And I, wanted to please. And so many years I kept taking the daycare, but with the job that I had, I was starting to be late every morning and I got written up. I was mortified that I was written up for being late. It was very unprofessional of me. And then I talked to you because I figured the very least at this point, I would need some help to figure out a new way to handle taking the kids to daycare. And you go, oh, I can do that. No big deal. And time had changed. And you were in a different space. And I just held on to an old belief, not wanting to ask you.
Yep. So, so what are some tips you can give people to help them ask for what they want so that they get it?
Well,
what do you tell people? What do you teach people?
One of them is they have to start using the word will. How often do they actually use that when they ask for something? The other piece is they have to think about what is it?
Will you? Will you?
Yeah. Will you
take out the garbage?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have to wait for a response, whether the person actually says it or not. Now the recipient's good too. If you really want to make sure that your will question came through, the recipient would be ideal to say, oh, are you asking me that you want me to take out the trash? And I say, yeah, will you? And then you could say yes or no. And then it's really clear what I'm asking. Many times people bring so much stuff into the question or the request that it gets a little overwhelming for the participant or the recipient. So it's good if you keep it clear and with the word will in it. That'll make a huge difference.
Putting the
and,
clarity. Well, and
here's
so
the big one.
What if they say no?
When you receive this,
yes, take the garbage.
Oh, one last thing. You got to be grateful for the person who gave you what you wanted. Because gratitude is an amazing attitude to have to bring more good in your life.
Okay, so I missed that. So somebody says, you asked me to take out the garbage and I say no. Repeat what you were going to say, what you said before.
No, so if you said no, I would either wait to a more opportune time to ask you again and work it out with you. And if not, then maybe I'll have to find somebody else to do it. If I'm not physically able to do it because I hurt my back, maybe I'd have to ask our son or maybe a neighbor.
Yeah, well, through 33 years of marriage with you, I've learned that a key is being able to get your no when I ask you to do something and you say no, and you be able to get my no, make it okay if I say no, cook me dinner. No, I got to make that okay to have a healthy relationship, right?
Right.
Seems to me that's a key component. So that's a whole part of it. Sorry, we're losing a little bit there.
Boundaries and boundaries.
Right. So, so you have a class coming up where you're going to be talking about this. It's called our Prosperity Tips Series, and you're doing a class on effective communication. So, what are you presenting in that class?
What we're talking about today.
Yeah, just this today. Okay. And so do they have everything they need to know by just being here, or are they going to get more by attending your class?
Oh, they'll get more because they'll get an opportunity to see the dynamics carried out in the class. And that's the best teaching tool of ever.
Okay. So, so we do these classes once a month with Carol, and we have a pretty vibrant conversation about whatever the prosperity tip is for the month, which this month is effective communications. So you can come and have your questions answered and do what I was just doing with Carol, except you get to do it and learn more tips about how to communicate effectively, and maybe even practice with Carol or me there, and get some feedback about how you can do it more effectively. Because I think we all would love to be able to get people giving us what we want easily and without any trauma or problems about that. Wouldn't you say?
Ideally, yes.
Okay, good. And I don't know if I can put this up or not, but I was hoping I was going to be able to put a message up with with that, but I don't. But the other thing I can put up is Carol also teaches a class called Reshape Your Life. There we are, and you can't see all the details. And anyway, the dates have gone by on that. I need to update the dates on that. But Reshape Your Life is another workshop where where you would interact with Carol to get a different outcome in your life than what you've had in the past. Anything you want to say about that, Carol?
It's very vitalizing, and I'm currently teaching a class, and the participants are really enjoying it.
Yeah. Okay. So that we do that every other month. So at the time this one's being recorded, it'll be coming up in March 18th, 2022 is the next one we'll be doing. So you can contact us if you want more information about that or to sign up, or there. You can see in the lower right when we're live, you can click on that and it'll take you to a website, or you can just go on carolstringham.com and look under programs, and you'll find Reshape Your Life, or and we will be adding prosperity tips on there as well. Okay, so that's what's going on. Anything else, Carol, to say today before we finish?
Thanks for having me as a guest. I hope I get to come back again. And hopefully we'll have better reception. Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that before next Tuesday for sure. And so I come on every Wednesday at noon to talk about body code, and I do balancings for anybody who want them, and answer any questions. And I do a topic every time. So this one is effective communication, and I'd love to have Carol come back, because from my perspective, she's a lot more interesting to listen to than I am. Especially, and you wait till you hear her when there's good internet, you'll be really amazed. Okay, so that's it for today, and we'll see you next week at noon. Love your feedback. Leave comments if you'd like to. And next week, bye.